Thanks for staying with us. So today our hot topic is based on a comment by Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, who's a lawmaker representing the Abia North Senatorial District in the current assembly. He declared that he takes home 14 million naira monthly as a senator and lamented that it's insufficient because he has to also pay salaries. According to him, he said these senators have made politics their career and earn they don't earn any other income except for the 14 million. Now, because he said this, everybody took him to the cleaners, saying, why would he say 14 million is not enough? What does he mean by that? And others are saying, if you want to be realistic, he has staff to take care of. He's paying salaries. He has running costs that must be taken care of. So if you look at it objectively, 14 million is not enough. What are your thoughts, especially because Nigerians always come up with figures every single day. Sometimes you hear 30 million a month. You hear 25 million every month. They are having 15 million. They are having, we carry these figures around, and we brandish these figures at beer parlors, hanging out with our friends. All the senators, all the 30 million a month. And this man is saying we earn 14 million, and it's not enough for me. What are your thoughts on it? Let us discuss it, because really and truly, how much should our senators be earning? And should they be in charge of salaries of their staff? How do we reduce the number of staff they have? Do they even need the amount of staff that they have? These are the kind of conversations we'd like to have this morning. You can call us on 081 0764 1679 090 241 63440. You can also send us messages on X and also messages on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your messages. So who would like to go first? See.
So, 40 million naira is not enough. If we look at it, if we look at the lifestyle, if we look at the salaries that they have to pay the numerous workers, that most of the time is not needed. But because it's the states or the federation that is funding it, we will employ 27 people who are basically not doing anything so that the states can pay. We're not the ones paying it from our pockets. So it's not enough. He did not lie in that one. And that's why we Nigerians are saying that we can't afford to pay you this amount of money. We're still struggling to pay minimum wage of 70-something thousand naira. It's been a back and forth. These are families that have a father or a mother who's working, who has children, who has people, dependents, people who go to school, people who need, health services, healthcare services, people who need a lot of things. 70,000, we're still going back and forth. And then an individual sits down to make laws and, has an opportunity to sit for a few days in a week, even if it's every day, just sit down, have deliberations, have, conversations, change this, change that, nay, yay, and we go home, and then you earn 40 million naira. Nigerians cannot afford to pay you. The advice is you come in there as a volunteer, so to speak. I do my work. I'm a bank MD or whatever it is that I am, but I'm also a lawmaker, and I have to appear, sit, do my work, and then go back to my business so that the stipends the federal government or the state can afford to pay you for sitting will be there for you just to support, okay, because you are giving your time to us. But this full-time politicking, full-time work that our politicians do, that's all they do. They leave all of their qualifications for those that have it and sit down just to make laws on the pockets. On the pocket of Nigerians, we can no longer afford it. So we are appealing. We know it's not enough, but we know that you're a millionaire. Most of you have businesses. Most of you have jobs that you can go back to. And then just give us that your service, that love for your nation. Just call me Amorayo Tokwe and say, okay, every 2 days in our tight schedule, go sit down. Let's talk about how to.
Okay, let me pause. Let me pause.
And we will do it. We don't need to collect money.
Let me pause you for a second, because it's important for us to also see things in the full picture. Yeah. The job of a lawmaker is not just to sit down.
Okay.
There's a lot of research.
Okay.
You have to read laws. Okay. You have to compare what's happening in Malaysia, in Singapore, in the US. They have to compare and contrast based on the history of those countries with ours and see how they can modify some of these laws. So it's not to sit down. There's a lot of work. Let's not underestimate what these guys are doing. I know for many Nigerians, they just think that they know what they're doing. But the truth is that they also need staff to do some of this research. Is that they can't do all the reading, and these guys are constantly, because you must know the section you are looking at and you are unpacking and trying to develop. You must see how it affects the socio-economic factors of Nigeria. So it's an in-depth work. So let us not underestimate the value they are bringing. It's important, but I'll put that aside. Let me hear your thoughts, Ramatu, on this.
It looks like they are not doing anything because most of the laws that they are coming and they are saying we can't see any impact, not making any impact. It's not showing, it's not, we can't feel anything. We don't feel anything. At BBC, you are feeling something.
My sister,
you don't feel anything. We are not feeling anything. So him coming out to come and complain and say because he's saying that some of the politicians that's their job, that's what they are doing. Their job, they depend on the money. No, it's time for you to start thinking outside the box. Think outside the box and look for how to make money outside the money you are collecting. Because 14 million right now in Nigeria is a lot of money.
I absolutely
a lot of money.
I absolutely love the way this conversation is going because
honestly,
it shows the mindset of Nigerians. And that's what I love about this show. And again, as much as we are the real mindset of Nigerians, we are also a bit more informed than most Nigerians. It's important for us to see things in a bit of a 360 perspective. But it's a good idea. I mean, I like that you said that perspective. But let me hear Tope's thoughts on this.
Okay, so for me, like, for everybody that looks at every figure is too much for somebody and it's too small for another person.
Yeah.
For someone, 100,000 naira, how much is that going to do? For another person, can you just increase my salary to 100,000 naira per month so that I can afford a better life? So, and yes, for another person, 100,000 naira is that much? Is that my food money for 2 days or 1 day? Like I don't get it. Is that lunch money? So I feel that discussing the amount of money based on his perspective and our perspective will be watering down an important issue, which is the how do we gauge the remuneration of our lawmakers and how do we quantify what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in a way that would feel fair to everybody involved. Because every time we talk about the remuneration of our lawmakers, it always feels like this is too much, it's ridiculous. How can somebody earn that kind of money? That's because when you are looking at the per capita income of every citizen of Nigeria, it doesn't make sense that somebody is earning that kind of money when majority are not earning much. But that's because we're looking at it that he's earning it. What he could have done was to do a breakdown of where that money goes to. According to him, the running cost of the office, that's because he's not a person. They say president is not a person. It's the presidency. There is a power team that makes him stand. Every senator you are seeing, when they make contributions, when they have to present a law, there is a team that makes them stand. When they are having to do investigation of specific, like the way the NDLEA is asking questions, like the way the lawmakers have called the issue of Bobrisky, and they need to understand the scope of the entire issue. There is a team that does the research. When the senator's office and the people they are representing, maybe senator is representing Lagos Central, they must have an office in the Lagos Central place that people can go and report situations happening within Lagos Central. And that office must be running on a constant basis with salary, generator, all of those things to go back. The average politician is being met every day with bills. And let us not hide our, like every day. The average politician on a daily basis, there is a list of hospital bill, list of school fees, list of pumping machine, list of borehole, list of burial, everything on a daily basis. So we cannot just take the figure without understanding where the money is going to. Now, the senators and House of Reps must be more open and vulnerable about how they spend the money. If you say this is how much I'm getting and this is how I spend it, I had to do breakdown for my children at a point in time to say, CEO, this is your budget, and this is how I'm affording your budget, and this is what it's going to. So that you'll be reasonable in your request to me. That might help the senators. But if you just put it at face value, and considering Nigerians' pockets, and the way Nigerians' government is telling us to squeeze our pockets, when I hear 14 million, I'm going to shout blue murder that let the senators earn cost reflective of our income.
Then we should
not
stop going to them to pay for our grandmother's burial. They can say no. Exactly. You will not come back. Wait, now you will not come back. You say no to me today, you won't come back tomorrow. Let me take Jeff. Thanks for joining. You are joining us. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning.
You're live.
Well done. Yes, sir. In respect to this, on 14 million being paid to senators, that's too much. So, for crying out loud, what will you have so much people working under you? What are you doing with them? For crying out loud, you are a senator or as well as a civil servant. What are you doing with 14 million? That money is too much for them. You should cut off from these useless expenses, useless people they've employed working with them. they are not necessary.
Very much, Jeff. You know, some of these people, we want to call the senator, please, oh, my younger brother just got back home. He's looking for a job. Some of us that know somebody, and looking for, they will hire that person and expect to pay them 70,000 naira. They'll come back and abuse them. Why are you ordering 70,000 naira? Is that what you're paying them? Then they have constituency projects that they need people to help them monitor. Because I have projects on that, like one average senator has about 17 local governments under him. And they're doing different other roads here, they're checking hospital, schools, different things they're using their constituency money for. Somebody must monitor what is being done. Somebody must be in the offices. So sometimes we must open our minds to see the bigger picture before we criticize.
So now the bigger picture.
Breathing.
Now the bigger picture, now keep us from where we did. So and we are trying to change it. And we are aware of all the things that they need to be able to do their jobs effectively.
Thank you.
If you keep doing one thing a certain way and expect a different result, you're not going to get it. It means let me not use the word that just came to my head now. First of all, we have civil servants who are in different ministries that should even come, like collapse together so that you see effectiveness. You are looking for researchers for you to be able to sit and pass the laws from research to Malaysia and different countries to see how things are done there. Why don't you get some of those civil servants? We have students who are in school studying political science. That's my first degree, political science. I did not see work to go and do research. Why don't you employ some of those students, those in 300 level, 200 level, to do, because that's what they're training us for, to do this, to shadow you people as lawmakers, do this research for you, present it for you, also give us an opportunity to understand our laws and practice it. That's a way of cutting costs. Now, you want extra workers because there are some special things that you need the workers to do. Why don't you pay out of pocket? Why does it have to come through the taxpayers' money? Yay! The America we are copying, we know how Obama and the rest.
Out of pocket.
They pay out of pocket.
Yes,
once they get their normal salary or allowance that they're supposed to get, that's it. Every other extra thing you're doing, if you like have 17 guests, if you like need 17 perfumes in the office, if you like need extra workers that the state did not employ for you, you pay out of pocket.
Okay, can I pause you?
That way.
Can we start with can we start with the out of pocket? You see, I love Nigerians. We see I always tell that part of our problem is this our middle class. All of you, they too know America, they too know London, they too know everything. That's the problem. Because no. You copy at the time where you are. Yeah. If you reverse US to 50, 60 years ago, they were not what Michelle Obama told us about how they were taking their tea, coffee, or from their out of pocket. If you rewind US to 50 years ago, which is where we are today, it's not it. Things will evolve naturally, but because we've all been exposed to what is happening in the US today, we want Nigeria today that is still doing babysets to start doing exactly. It can't happen. Let's be realistic. I love the idea. It's a great idea, but we will get to that point. The same way we were talking about this during elections, saying that some states should allow different nationals to be governors. We're saying nobody's against a different national, a different state, a different group to be the governor in a different state. We will evolve into that eventually. Many of us are already living in Lagos. Tomorrow, your child will be governor of Lagos State. Who's going to stop the child? But we will get there naturally. You don't say because they are doing this in America, and today, no, this person must become governor. No, it doesn't work that way. So I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example. That let us not always use that international example all the time because it doesn't always fit.
From that side.
But we modify it for our own use.
No, we cannot modify what is not working for us. That's the point. We have to copyright. So I know that we're still babies in terms of democracy.
Yes.
But it's a global village. Yes. We can see what is happening. We can choose and decide that this will serve us better than the other one. So pick it.
Let me go in
Why are you waiting till you pass through what America has passed through?
Let me go
60 years?
Let me go through.
What's the essence of
Let me
experience?
go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation exactly where we stopped. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.